And my camera immediately starts dying. Not today. Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Christina, and today I'm going to be recreating my wedding makeup. So today that I'm actually filming this is my 1-year wedding anniversary. So I figured today would be a good day to recreate the makeup I wore on my wedding day, at least as well as I can remember it. Because, I don't know. I don't remember the tiny details. I remember what foundation I was wearing and what eyeshadow I had on, and I think I got the right lip color, but I'm not really sure about anything else. So we're just gonna wing it otherwise and kind of put a new spin on it. But for the most part, this is what I did. And I got married obviously in August. It was very hot. My wedding was a little bit miserably hot because it was outdoors, which we'll get into all of that. But before I jump into putting makeup on my face for the day, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button because I do upload every single day, Monday through Friday. And I do upload at random times, so just make sure to have that bell notification turned on. That way you're notified every time I upload a video. And now let's get started getting ready. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip my hair back. I will be telling you everything I'm putting on my face, so this isn't exactly a get ready with me, but I'm definitely going to be talking more than I'm doing a tutorial type of deal. Does that make sense? Like, I'm gonna be telling you guys actual stories from my wedding day. So as you can see, I already have my eyebrows done because I really don't feel like it's important for this video. Everyone does their eyebrows differently. Some people are blessed and don't need to fill in their eyebrows, so just do your eyebrows however you want. And I already put my SPF on, which is important, and everyone should wear SPF. Finger guns are back at it. So I don't remember what exact primer I used on my wedding day, but I'm gonna do a combo move on you guys today. So we're gonna be going in with the Catrice Prime and Fine first, and after the Catrice Prime and Fine, which this one I'm gonna just use in my like T-zone area, right where like I have the large pores and where I produce the most oil to try and combat how much oil I produce. I find that pore filling primers can do that a little bit better for me. And then like on the outer perimeter on my face and my forehead, we're gonna go in with this Wonder Beauty face oil, which this is the Glow Ahead Illuminating Face Oil. Again, just gonna put it on the outer perimeter of my face to give me a little bit more glow. So let's get started. I'm gonna use this guy first, just because I find that the pore filling primers take a little bit longer to get into your skin. And let me zoom you guys in a little bit. Honestly, I don't remember like all of the details of my wedding day, because if you are about to get married, or you've just gotten married, or you're in the process of planning your marriage, if you're in the process of planning your wedding right now, then you've probably heard a million times, oh, don't worry about your wedding. It's gonna go by so fast. No need to stress. And like before you get married, you're like, whatever, no, I'm gonna stress. I'm gonna get this right. But seeing that my wedding happened a year ago, I will tell you absolutely, you're not gonna remember everything. It's gonna go by really fast, and at the end of the day, it was just a day. And that's generally how I feel about a lot of things. Like, people hype up so many things in life and make such a big deal about them. Like, your 16th birthday is a big deal. Going to prom is a big deal. But at the end of the day, it's just a day. And so there's no need to get worked up about it. Honestly, as great as weddings are, they're not a good signifier of how your marriage is gonna go, and I think marriage is a lot bigger of a deal than a wedding. So if things go wrong on your wedding day, or you think it's gonna be this miraculous thing that's gonna like change your life, I mean, the only thing it's changing is you're now married. But if you're already in a committed relationship, then it's really not gonna feel that much different. Because how I felt the day after our wedding is I felt the same. We were just now married, you know? Like, our relationship really didn't change that much. Like, the only thing that came with it was we are now legally binded, which was fine. Like, I'm very happily married. I'm just saying, for all the people that like get really, really worked up about everything and thinking that this is some big signifier in your life, and like, yeah, it is. It's a huge signifier to finally get married. But it's not such a big deal that like you need to get so worked up about it. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. But overall, my wedding day, the beginning of our wedding day was so chill because our wedding was later on in the evening. We tried to push it off as long as possible in the day because we were doing an outdoor wedding, which again, wasn't really what I wanted, but with time constraints, we knew we were moving. And okay, let me back up a little bit. So we had gotten engaged in April of 2018. And I wasn't going to plan the wedding because I didn't want to rush anything, and I wasn't really like overly bothered to rush it. So I was doing things very slow. And then we're getting closer. I think it was around like May and June, where I started realizing, wait a minute, we're about to move. Because we had already known, we had already gotten our orders officially that we're moving to California, and we were in North Carolina. And I was like, what the heck? I'm not going to try and plan a wedding in North Carolina while I'm in California and then have us fly back before Michael deploys. I was like, everything's happening too fast. So we planned this wedding really quick. We were, of course, like crunched on time. So we ended up getting married in a friend's backyard because it was an easy venue. It wasn't anything we would have to wait on time for. Like, they were being very generous and letting us use their house. And their house was beautiful. They were on the water. Like, it was a really pretty beach house. And we were only inviting like 35 to 40 people. So we were like, you know what? That will work. That's fine. So I planned our wedding in like 3 months. So because of that, because we didn't really have like an official venue and we were using a friend's house, that's why it was outdoors, which again, wasn't what I really like envisioned for my wedding, but that's life, you know? It's never gonna come out exactly how you thought. So moving on to foundation, the foundation I actually did use on my wedding day was this guy. This is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. Now I do need to go pick up a new shade because as you can see, this is currently too dark for me. Before our wedding, I did a lot of self-tanning, so I was actually like a healthy color. This is my natural like skin color. I don't go outside without SPF 30 or more on at all times, and I try to stay in the shade because I'm very pale and, you know, the sun is dangerous. So this is a little too dark. We're still going to use it because I don't have a new bottle, but this is in the color LC1. If you're a little darker than me, then this will be a good shade. But I love this foundation, and this is what I used on my wedding day. And it somehow made it through that August heat. But yeah, it was very hot. It was very, very outdoors, but it was beautiful. Like, the entire ceremony went by really like effortlessly. Or what is it called? The person who's ordained to get you married, she was amazing. She had a really nice like whole setup, and it was just really, you know, painless. It went by quickly. It was probably like tops 20 minutes, 30 minutes from like the moment everyone walked down the aisle to us saying I do and then walking back down as husband and wife. Like, really quick, which for me, perfect, because it was gonna get hot. And actually, like, during the ceremony, it was really, really chill. Like, we had a nice breeze coming off the ocean, and so it felt fine. It wasn't until the reception, which was also outdoors. It was like, we had a big tent put up next to like where we did the ceremony that everyone could fit under, and once the sun went down, it surprisingly got hotter, I guess, because, I mean, not really like hotter, it just got really humid, which sucked because we had so much food and like no one was comfortable enough to eat because it was so hot. So that was the only thing. But I just remember I was so giddy. Like, me and Michael were so giddy all night because, I mean, we were finally married. And like, I don't know, I enjoyed our wedding night so much. It like wasn't, again, it wasn't our ideal wedding. Like, if we had all the time in the world to plan something perfect, it would have been different. But I don't know, it was our wedding and I enjoyed it. We had all of the people we care about most there, even if they couldn't stay long. And I don't know, it just, I guess all I'm trying to say is, if you're currently planning a wedding or you're about to get married and you don't think it's going to go perfectly, it doesn't even matter, because as long as you're marrying the right person, it won't even matter. Like, looking back on it, I don't really even care about the things that went wrong, because I wanted to get married. I wanted him to be my husband. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, you know? Like, look how pretty this foundation is on the skin. You see this? This foundation is so freaking nice and so lightweight, and this somehow lasted all night. I don't know how, because it's like so glowy and pretty, but it somehow made it through that heat. And like, when I say it was humid, guys, it was in North Carolina in the middle of August. It was humid. It was probably like 80-90% humidity that day, and it had been thunderstorming like all around us all day, so it was like extra humid. And this somehow stayed on my face. Don't know how. And I did a really light layer on my face. And for concealer, I'm not sure what I used on my wedding day for concealer, but I don't really have that many concealers in my collection anymore. So I'm just going to go in with the one that I have right now, which is the Makeup Revolution concealer. But I remember I didn't do much because I was worried that I would cry at some point, which I was actually pretty good. I held it together all of the wedding. It was mainly, I just smiled a lot. I remember my face hurting when we got home that night. But I was worried I was going to cry, so I didn't want to put too much around my eyes, and I did have waterproof mascara, which I do not have now. I remember I only used a little bit, so I think I only put it right on like the inner corner of my eyes, like down to where you can see my veins, but I think that's all I did for concealer. Like, I didn't do a giant triangle. Now, if you do have blemishes, you can of course use more, but my skin's very, very clear right now, which I don't know how because I feel so stressed out. But, and as you guys know, like I said, today is our 1 year wedding anniversary, and Michael is not here. He is still deployed. It kind of sucks. Like, I feel like I've been pretty good throughout most of the deployment, but it is weird, like, when you look back on like your first year of marriage, and we literally missed like all of the normal first. Like, we didn't have our first Christmas, we didn't have our first Valentine's Day, we didn't have our first New Year's, he missed my birthday. Like, all kinds of stuff. He's missing our first like actual year anniversary day. And like, I feel like I've been pretty good throughout the deployment, but yeah, today hits a little harder. Today's been a little bit more tough on me. Just because it's like, this is like the one day you want to spend together. Like, I can overlook all the other ones because it's like, oh, it's gonna happen again, but we'll never have like our first wedding anniversary back. And I feel like this is always like a big monumental moment, but we'll have all the other ones, so I guess it's okay. But it does suck not having them here. And then next, I took a foundation powder. I don't know if it was the It Cosmetics one, but I remember I used a foundation powder or a colored powder of some sort and set most of my face. Now, I don't typically use powders. You guys know this. If this was like a normal day, I would just leave my face as it is. But because we were going to be outside, I was like, I need to set some extra insurance on this. So a foundation powder especially is what you go for. And then I just pressed it into like the main parts of my face and like really pressed it into the side of my nose. And there's my skin after all of that is done. After that, I know I went with the butter bronzer because it's the best bronzer in my opinion. I know it's drugstore. Actually, I used a lot of Physicians Formula, didn't I? I just loaded up and went to town. Now, I remember I was really light-handed because I didn't want to look overly crazy. I wanted, now I know like in photos and stuff they want your skin to look a little bit heavier than it would normally because you want it to translate onto photos, but I wanted to look like, I didn't want to look like that in pictures. I wanted the main focus just to be like on my dress and just on the moment more so. So I didn't do, my makeup wasn't heavy that day. I remember I felt really light. It felt like almost ethereal and just really pretty. The main focus was I made sure I was wearing lashes to bring more focus to my eyes and waterproof mascara. And then after that, I was like, whatever. As long as my skin stays looking fresh all night, that's all I really cared about. So that's basically all I did. And then I went in with a highlight. I don't remember, again, which highlight I used. Probably, you know what? I bet I do know which one I used. I think it was the Smashbox one. I need to go grab that. It was probably definitely this one. So going in with Pearl from the Smashbox highlight, because this one doesn't show texture of any sort. It's just so crazy. Like, this year has been like so slow because obviously he's been deployed the whole time, but also so fast at the same time. And don't worry, I'm gonna blend that out. I know that looks very harsh right now, but I will blend that out. Yeah, it went by really fast and also really slow. Like, it doesn't feel like we've been married for a year, yet it does. It's just so crazy to think about like how far your relationships can like progress in such a short yet long time. Does that make sense? I'm gonna go over the highlight with the flat side of the sponge. I do really love this highlight because it really doesn't emphasize my pore size or anything. Like, it just kind of goes over them instead. And then if you just blend it in. Ooh, another thing that I don't think I've ever told you guys is about my dress. So my dress was actually, I did nothing traditionally, basically. Like, I didn't go to a shop to get my wedding dress. I found it, I can't remember the name of the website now, but there's a website for wedding dresses where you can get sample dresses off of the floor for like a super, super discount, because obviously they're sample dresses and they're just trying to get them out of there. So I got my dress for $600 off of one of those websites. It only needed to be altered a little bit because it was like, I made sure it was my size. It was a little too long when I got it and a little bit too wide in the bust area just because I'm pretty narrow. Like, I have pretty narrow shoulders. I'm more pear-shaped, so that needed to be taken in, but other than that, it was perfect. And I loved that dress. It was so pretty. It had a illusion neckline, with lace on it. I absolutely loved that dress. It was a little hot for the wedding, but I just knew I really wanted it. It didn't really fit like the aesthetic either, because we were in like someone's backyard on like a beach wedding. It wasn't as beach wedding as I would have wanted, but it, if anything, I was like, I just want to make sure I'm wearing the dress that I want to wear no matter what, because I probably could have gotten away with a short dress, but that's, I don't like showing my legs, so I didn't want to do that on my wedding day and be self-conscious about it. And I knew I wanted like a pretty A-line dress with like a chiffon bottom, like a nice flowy pretty bottom. Looked for it, found it, got it online. So I didn't do like the traditional route where people like go to the store with a bunch of people. I didn't do it. I did everything so different, and I'm okay with it. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's just a day. All that matters is that you're actually married. So here is what my skin is looking like. I definitely didn't use a cream blush on my wedding day. I used just a regular matte natural tone, but this is probably around the same color as the blush I used on my wedding day, so I just went in with this one, but I definitely used a matte blush. I wanted to wear this one for today. And then after that, it was eyes. I feel like overall this is a really simple look. And for my eyes, I went in with the Persona Identity palette. This is the palette I used on my wedding day. Like, look how pretty all the tones are. It's definitely like a wedding-ish palette in my opinion. So this is what I used, and I primed my lids I think with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, but I'm gonna go in with the Sigma eyeshadow primer today. And I didn't want to do anything crazy. I went all matte, which I like never do all matte looks for the most part. I love some shimmer. I think I put a little tiny bit of shimmer near the inner corner, but other than that, I left it all matte. And I just wanted everything to be really, really blended. The only thing that went wrong on my wedding day is one of my lashes in the corner started popping up, which is annoying, but it was, you know, what am I supposed to do when it's like that humid outside? You can't really tell in any of the pictures, because all of the pictures, I'm pretty sure it was fine. But I definitely, by the time I got home, my eyelashes was definitely like up in the corner. Alright, so to set the eyeshadow primer, I'm going to go in with the color Humble. I think it was so crazy. Like I said, I woke up the next day, like we woke up and we were talking over our breakfast the day after our wedding. And we were like, do you feel any different? And like both of us like giggled and we were like, no, not really. Like I said, like if you're already in like a good committed relationship, you probably won't feel any different the next day. And I talked to one of my friends and she said the same thing. She was like, yeah, after our wedding we were like, yeah, it doesn't really feel any different, but it's pretty cool knowing that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with someone who's like your best friend. And like Michael's been like my greatest supporter, like even through deployment. Like he supported me on this YouTube journey, because you guys know this was the year, like once the year started, or once his deployment started, is when I really started cracking out some YouTube videos, and that's when I changed my schedule. And he's been super supportive. A lot of you guys know I do Twitch now. Like I started doing Twitch streams where I play video games online. I literally just started that, and he's been super, super supportive of that as well. Like anytime where I'm like, hey, I have a crazy idea and I want to do this and I want to do this, he's so supportive, and it feels good knowing that like he's going to be like my cheerleader for the rest of my life. It's awesome. So no complaints. So even though it didn't feel different like the day after, and it doesn't really like feel like, I don't feel like being married changes much. It's just like a signifier that like you've decided this is your person, like more concretely, and that's about it. So now I'm gonna go in with the color Charming on this really big, oh, don't look at the mess on this table, on this really big blending brush. And I'm just gonna work it into the outer corner, but I'm gonna blend this until it basically is gone, and then we'll pack on more color. So I'm gonna speed this up, because I remember this part took me the longest. And then going in with Humble and Sassy on a flat brush, that's what's gonna go on the inner part of my eye. I remember on the wedding day, like when I was actually doing my makeup, I took my time. My mom kept bringing me drinks, like mimosas, because I was getting like nervous, and it was like I wasn't nervous about marrying Michael. I was just nervous about everything that could go wrong. So trust me, I understand the feeling like on your wedding day, of like feeling anxious. And I just remember my mom trying to calm me down. My hair was like kept falling because I have really like thin and like almost, I don't know, nothing stays in my hair. This is why you guys never see my hair up really, because my hair falls so easily. And I remember my hair kept falling, and even on our actual, like during our actual wedding, I had this beautiful floral piece that was supposed to go in my hair. It fell out of my hair as I was walking down the aisle to Michael, which I don't think many people noticed, but I felt it like roll down my back and down my train on my dress. I just like looked at my dad and I was like, Dad, I just lost my headpiece. And we just had to keep going. And so that's why when you see pictures from the ceremony, I don't have my floral headpiece in because it fell out of my hair. Nothing stays in my hair. To get my floral headpiece to stay in my hair, it took like 1,000,000 bobby pins, and they were like, it took me forever to even get all of the pins out later on that night. But yeah, it finally stayed in, but my hair kept falling because my hair like it just doesn't want to stay up unless you put in at least 30 to 40 bobby pins on each like little section. So I remember I was getting frustrated with my hair. My mom kept me calm. I was almost late to our wedding, and as I was getting ready, I had just finished getting my dress on and I was coming out of the room I was getting ready in, and Michael came out of his room at the same time, and he like glanced at me and he like ran out the door because he wasn't supposed to see me. I remember that. Good times. And then I did not do liner very much, but I do know I went in with a little shadow to wing it out. And then after I put my lashes on, I go in with a little liner to hide the band. But we're gonna go in with the color Fearless now, and we're just gonna take another flat brush and we're gonna create a slight wing, but not much. I could tell you all kinds of stories from my wedding day, but I'm kind of like all over the place now. But I just remember I took my time. I like enjoyed the process. I didn't hire a makeup artist, which I know probably would have like helped calm me down maybe, but you guys know I love doing my own makeup, and also it was like one of the only things that day I had control over, so it's kind of like I wanted to have that control because it felt like everything else was kind of up in the air on if it was gonna work out or not. So I wanted to do my own makeup. Overall, I liked that process. I was just getting so anxious for like everything else while I was there. But so far, like I said, weddings are never indicative of the marriage, and I feel like my marriage has not been stressful or anything. I know like even though Michael's been gone and it's been hard because he's been gone, it hasn't been bad. Like I just feel like we're still on the same page. Everything's still going well. Just because your wedding is stressful doesn't mean it's not going to work out. Just take things in stride and it will work out. As long as you're not nervous about who you're marrying. I got a little fallout now. It kind of looks like I have a smudge under my eye, but we're just gonna roll with it. Okay, so let me throw on my mascara, and then we're gonna put on lashes. And for lashes, I'm gonna use these Lashaholic lashes that we got in BoxyCharm. I've worn them once, and I really, really like them. And they're very similar to the ones I wore on my wedding day. The ones on my wedding day, I wore them until they basically fell apart because I loved them. But these are very similar, so we're gonna use these. So I'm gonna go put on mascara and put the glue on the lashes, then I'll be back when I'm putting the lashes on. Or after I've put the lashes on, because that's too hard to film and talk and all of that, so hang on one second. All right, lashes are on. So I'm just gonna go over my lashes real quick with my liquid liner, just to hide the band a little bit more. And then last step was lips, which I know I used a Maybelline Superstay ink because these don't budge, and I used mine in the color Lover. And then I also, for my wedding, I ordered myself the Jouer lip topper in Skinny Dip because I had been wanting it, and I thought a wedding gift to myself. So this was my lip combo for my wedding. But I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips first. And I know it seems like it probably seems a little bit like I am complaining about my wedding day, and I'm not, I promise. I think being married and weddings in general, and just the idea of marriage is really sacred to me. It's not anything I think people should go into lightly. It's like something like when I see people making a mockery of it, especially like on the internet, like making weddings a joke, I think it like belittles the idea of it. And I think we're already in like a culture where people are like one way or the other, but I think it is like a really important thing. I don't think it's anything to be taken lightly, and I don't want people to think that I'm like making a like complaining about being married, because I'm definitely not. I went into this very seriously. It was something that I always told my mom growing up, that I wasn't sure if I wanted to be married, because my parents got divorced when I was really young, and it was just something that I didn't ever want to go through myself. And if I have kids, it's nothing I want my kids to go through. So like I took getting married very seriously. I think what I mean by like it didn't really feel different to me is that I picked the right person and I wasn't scared. You know, like I had no regrets the next day. Realize I can't really talk and put on lipstick at the same time. I'm gonna let this dry for a second, and then I just went over with the Jouer lip topper and skinny dip just right on the center of my lips. Now this definitely faded by the end of the day, but this lipstick stayed pretty much all night. So if you are looking for a drugstore option for a wedding and you don't want your lipstick to move, this is a good option. I also used, I think, this exact same lipstick on my sister on her wedding day. Same thing. The only thing is this, when it's drying down, it's sticky. Like my lips feel sticky right now, but once it's completely dry, it's fine, because then it doesn't move for like 8 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pop this guy right on the center. Ah, it smells like creme brulee. Alright guys, so this is it. This is how I did my makeup on my wedding day. Today is my 1-year wedding anniversary, and it feels good to like have my makeup back this way again. Now, this probably isn't exactly how I did it. I definitely feel like I took more time on my wedding day to do this, but overall this is pretty much what my makeup looked like on my wedding day, and feels good to be married for a year. I'm excited to celebrate our wedding when he gets back, and to celebrate next year's wedding anniversary and all of the future wedding anniversaries that we're gonna have. Just feels good. So if any of you guys are getting married, if you're planning a wedding, if you've just had your first wedding anniversary or anything like that, don't stress, everything works out, and just enjoy life with the person that you chose to spend life with. And yeah, I'm excited to get back to living a normal married couple life. And I mean, everyone says the newlywed phase is for the first 3 years of marriage, so I have 2 more years of being a happily blissful newlywed, and I can't wait. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked this, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, let me know what was your favorite wedding day story, or what was the best wedding you ever went to. Leave me stories down in the comments. I would love to read them. And hopefully you hit that subscribe button, and that means I will see all of you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!